Alright, so welcome back guys, and welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today we're talking about the synopsises and titles for the first 8 episodes of The Walking Dead Season 10. So if The Walking Dead is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way missing more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. First up, we got episode 1, titled Lines We Cross. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, the group in Oceanside continues to train in case the Whisperers return. Tensions are high as the heroes struggle to hold on to their concept of civilization. Now, I know this episode has already been seen by people on AMC Premiere, so if you do know what happens, please don't spoil it for anybody else who hasn't. But as I predict here, it's just probably going to be a group at Oceanside training. We might see some tension with some walkers. I know there are theories about this satellite falling down. I don't know how much true that's going to be. I hope it's not, because it sounds stupid. But overall, I'm interested to see what goes on here. It's the premiere, so it's probably going to be crazy and big. I'm glad that they're bringing Oceanside back into the mix. Hopefully they play a larger role now. But I'm very interested and excited to see what they do here, because I feel like this episode, or at least this half, might go into some territory that is kind of diverted from the comics. So that's always interesting when the show does that and goes in a different path. But either way, I'm definitely interested to see where they take this in Season 10. Next, we got Episode 2, titled We Are the End of the World. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, the origins of Alpha and Beta are revealed. Alpha attempts to toughen up Lydia as they prepare to walk with the dead. The Whisperers create their herds. Now, as I predict here, we're probably going to get some flashbacks to how the Whisperers came to be. We got some of that back in episode 10 of season 9, but I think we're going to dive more deep into this. My only concern here is that I don't want them to reveal Beta's face or anybody's actual names. Like, I don't want Alpha's name to be revealed, because I feel like that keeps some mystery to the character. And same thing goes with Beta. I hope they don't show his face. Now, I know there's theories about how he's going to be this magician or like this basketball player from the comics. I really hope they divert from his comic backstory, because I thought that was stupid for him to be this big athlete or celebrity. I thought that was dumb. I prefer like if he had like this scar or something that made him look like he was deformed or something. I think that'd be better. But either way, I'm interested to see what goes on here, as long as I don't get into too much of that stuff. I know Gamma's supposed to appear in this episode for the first time, so that's exciting. We know this, I'm predicting right now, this is probably the formation of the Whisperers. This talks about how they're preparing to walk with the dead, so I'm assuming this is the first time they ever do that, and that includes creating the herds. So I'm very interested and curious to see what goes on here, just as long as they don't like reveal too much about Alpha and Beta and stuff like that, because that will kind of turn me off to the episode. So we got episode 3, titled Ghosts. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, the threat of the Whisperers' return leads to paranoia sweeping over Alexandria. In the meantime, Carol battles with the need for revenge. Now, my prediction here is that this is where we start seeing the Silence the Whispers, and we start seeing people get paranoid. My prediction here is this episode is kind of going to be like episode 5 in season 6 called Now, where you got them kind of freaking out over the walkers outside the gates. I think it's going to be similar to that. And as for Carol, I think that it's her seeing Henry. If you look at the trailer, you see her hallucinating seeing Henry. So I think that's going to be going on in this episode. And I think that the Whisperers return in this episode. I think in episode 1 and 2, they kind of disappear for a bit. Or maybe the episode 2 is an entire flashback episode, and at the end of episode 1, they kind of make their return somewhat. That's my prediction, and then we jump into what happens next in episode 3. I'm not sure, but that's how I predict everything going down in this episode. Next, we got episode 4, titled Silence the Whispers. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, still paranoid Alexandrians get riled up over the Whispers and take their fear out on Negan. Back at Hilltop, the group deals with an unexpected safety issue. Now, my prediction here is that at the end of episode 3, that Daryl or the people at Alexandria decide to come up with the idea to do the Silence the Whispers. That's how the episode ends. And then this whole episode deals with them writing the Silence the Whispers. Paranoia is still sweeping over the place, so it's similar to episode 3 or episode 5 of season 6. Taking their anger out on Negan seems fitting. I'm interested to see what goes on there. That's interesting and exciting news. Now, Hilltop is where I'm drawing a blank, because I don't think the Whispers are gonna attack or do anything like that. But maybe my prediction here is maybe Gamma goes in and tries to threaten or scare him or something like that. Maybe they do something where Gamma, says Alpha is angry or something, wants to have a meeting or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they have their people gather a herd around the place, making it unsafe to go out. I don't know. This is where I'm confused. I think this is another episode that's going to divert from the comics in a way, so I'm not sure what's going to go on here, but I'm just very interested though to see how they incorporate some stuff into this episode and how it might divert from the comics. Next, I got episode 5 titled What It Always Is. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads: supplies go missing from Hilltop. Negan is idolized by an Alexandrian. Ezekiel holds a secret. Now, my prediction here is that Ezekiel holding a secret and the supplies going missing are connected somehow, because we know Ezekiel and Kingdom moved to Hilltop. And I think maybe they offer up some of their supplies or something, and Ezekiel does it secretly to the Whisperers. Maybe they are running on stuff, so Ezekiel makes a deal with them to give them food or something, and he doesn't tell the other people. Now, as for Negan being idolized by an Alexandrian, we know it's going to be Brandon from the comics. We know he's being introduced in this season, so I think this is the scene where you get the two of them kind of meeting for the first time, and we get their relationship built up in this episode, and kind of get the beginning stages of Negan and them forming this friendship, and something that eventually happens from the comics happens later on in this first half. I'm not going to say it for any TV-only fans, but comic fans, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's kind of set up for what comes later in this episode. Next, I got episode 6 titled Bonds. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads: Carol and Daryl go on a mission together while Sadiq struggles to solve a mystery. Now, my prediction here is that it's just Daryl and Carol maybe doing recon on the Whispers. Maybe they have a meeting with Alpha. It could just be them going out for supplies. I feel like people might look at this and have a bigger idea for it, but I think it's something simple, nothing crazy. As for Sadiq struggling with a mystery, now I know there's crazy fan theories about how he betrayed the group. I don't believe that's what it is. I think maybe in this episode he's trying to put together what happened to the missing supplies at Hilltop. That's my prediction. At this moment, I can't think of anything else that he could be trying to figure out. Maybe he forgot some details from what happened with him and Alpha, and he's trying to figure something out there. I don't know. This is interesting. I do not believe he betrayed the group. That would be stupid and idiotic. And I think Angela Kane would have lost her mind. But I don't think it's that. But I'm curious, though, to what they have planned for Sadiq. Maybe he's facing some PTSD. I don't know, but Sadiq, I'm just going to say, is trying to figure out what happened to the supplies, and it's simple as that. I feel like this is a simple synopsis. People are probably going to make out more than what it really is, but that's my prediction for it right now. Next, I got episode 7 titled Open Your Eyes. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads: Carol pushes boundaries that make Daryl uneasy. Alpha and Beta have reservations about someone. Now, my prediction here is I'm going to switch what I said about episode 6. I think Daryl and Carol are going out looking for Negan. I think at the end of episode 5 or in episode 6, Brandon releases Negan from his cell and they go out on a mission together. And in episode 6 and 7 is Daryl and Carol looking for Negan. That's my prediction right here. Maybe they run into Gamma here and maybe Carol pushes some boundaries looking for revenge. I don't know. That's my prediction here for right now. As for Alpha and Beta having reservations about someone, I'm predicting that's Negan showing up at their territory and introducing himself to Alpha from the comics, and I think they're going to set up that relationship right here. That's my prediction right now. I'm not sure what else could be going on. I know Negan's probably going to show up here, and my prediction is it's just Daryl and Carol going out looking for Negan. We know in the comics that Dwight went out looking for Negan after he escaped or was wet out by Brandon. So I think it's going to be something similar to that. So I think mainly these 2 episodes are going to be them looking for Negan and Negan being introduced to Alpha and the Whispers. That's my prediction for these 2 episodes right now. Next we got episode 8 titled The World Before. Now the synopsis for this episode reads, a fight causes tensions in Oceanside while the Alexandrians set out on a high-stakes mission. Now, off the bat, I'm thinking that there's not going to be any, Whisper War introduction here. My prediction here is that there's tension rising between the whole fear or scare of the Whispers threat. So I think it's maybe they kind of set out some kind of scare tactic, the Whispers, that causes uneasiness in Oceanside and the other communities. As for Alexandria going on a high stakes mission, my prediction here is it's probably them continuing to look for Negan, and maybe they end up coming face to face with Alpha and having to make some kind of deal or something there. I do not believe this will be the start of the Whisper War. I just think it's them the Whispers scaring the people and our group trying to figure out what to do and going on this mission. Maybe they cross the border to go see Alpha, something like that. I do not believe it's the start of the Whisper War, but I do think it's going to be some maybe set up for the Whisper War. But other than that, I think it's just going to be them trying to figure out what to do about the threat of the Whispers, and maybe the point where it's no turning back. They have to go to war, something like that. Similar to what they did at the end of Season 7. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts and predictions regarding the synopsises and titles for The Walking Dead Season 10 first 8 episodes. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way to miss any more Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And you can go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which I have linked in the About section on my YouTube channel. As always, it's been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.